Welcome back, folks, to another episode of DGS2 Case 4. So, we were in the process of explaining how the fireworks went off without anyone actually triggering them in there themselves. So, the answer to that, where we left off, is the candle holder itself. One of the candles in this candle holder has had the end of it blown off.
That must have been blown off when it was hit by the bullet after it passed through the victim's body.
I don't think that's possible.
Not possible. Why not?
Because of the powder burns. The blown up candle has obvious traces of black gunpowder burns left on it.
Why, you're right, but there were indeed gunpowder burns left around the witness's bullet wound as well.
Yes, and we heard when those were pointed out that gunpowder burns are left when a gun is fired at point-blank range, a distance of only a few inches. In which case, the powder burns on the candle couldn't possibly have been left behind by the bullet.
So it must have been the fireworks, huh?
What's going on here?
The fact that there were such clear powder burns on this candle would have to mean that there was almost no distance between the gunpowder explosion and the candle itself. In other words, the fireworks were tied to the candle. The murderer tied the fireworks around the candle in the candle holder. Then, the murderer left the scene of the crime. The candles continued to burn. And finally, the fuse on the fireworks was lit. And that's the trick that was used to cause the 3 witnesses to hear the gunshot at 5 p.m.
Dear Lord. So the victim was murdered the day before the gunshot was ever fired.
But, hold on just a second. We saw him, you know. We saw the victim enter the building.
That blazing red hair of his. We couldn't forget it if we tried. What you saw was not the victim. It was this. It goes without saying, but anyone can wear a wig. The person the witnesses saw 15 minutes before the murderer was someone else wearing a bright red wig. It makes sense.
Someone else? You can't mean...
It was the person who set up the trick with the fireworks at the crime scene. And the only one actually responsible for... the one actually responsible for Detective Gregson's murder.
Quite amusing, Naruhodō Ryūnosuke.
Sogi?
I didn't expect you to be so good at this. It's just like I told you, isn't it, Naruhodō? You were meant to become a defense attorney. I was also curious as to why this report had no time of death. Personally, I don't trust this country's justice system.
Order! Prosecutor Sogi, what exactly did you mean by your last statement?
I heard that those who have gathered to watch today's trial are all members of the justice system. That's why I can't allow for any weak points in the evidence, no matter how small. The estimated time of death that the defense arrived at due to the stop pocket watch is only a hypothesis. However, as long as that possibility remains, we must investigate it.
Of course, you're right.
In which case, the next thing we must investigate, naturally, is where Detective Gregson was, and what he was doing on the day before the murder.
Do you already know?
Detective Gregson always conducted his investigations alone. The Yard treats his action as confidential, apparently.
Confidential?
However, if we look at the evidence we've gathered so far, then we should be able to clearly determine what he was trying to track down. Well, defense.
Perhaps the case Gregson-sama was investigating was... Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was that one. Your Honor, in regards to the case Detective Gregson was investigating the day before the murder, the defense believes it can reveal what it was.
Very well. In that case, the defense will present its evidence. What incident was the victim investigating the day before the murder?
The Red-Headed League. Perhaps this wig is our answer. It's likely that the victim wore this and did some undercover work.
But wouldn't that wig actually just end up drawing more attention to the wearer?
Exactly. It's difficult to imagine anyone wearing such an attention-drawing thing for an undercover operation. Unless the thing he was investigating was this, the Red-Headed League.
Red-Headed League?
I knew it. So you caught on, did you?
And what on earth is this Red-Headed League?
The Red-Headed League is currently being investigated as a major fraud operation.
Fraud operation?
The crime involves targeting redheads all throughout London, rounding up their cash. The two criminals were arrested yesterday.
Your Honor, please allow the defense to summon those two criminals as witnesses right away!
What?
Detective Gregson wore this and infiltrated the Red-Headed League. So naturally, he should have made contact with those two criminals. And it's impossible that there were additional incidents beyond what we know about.
Agreed. We should pursue this. The court believes so as well.
We did it, Naruhodō-sama. Looks like we managed to indicate a new possibility.
Now then, Prosecutor Asogi, begin the preparations to subpoena the witnesses at once. Bring us the masterminds behind the Red-Headed League incident.
As you wish.
The court will now take a 30-minute recess.
Bang. And there's going to be a to be continue, and we are definitely continuing. Suzuku? Suzuku. To continue. Anyway. Oh, no saving. Let's just roll into it. Let's see if we can get up to our new witnesses. No save. Just in case something happens. Same day, 12:33 p.m., the Old Bailey Defendant's Lobby.
Oh, you're back, Naruhodō.
Hey, took you long enough, folks. Hi, Holmes-san, Gina-san.
Hi, is what you said in that true? It was right shocking, that. About the boss having been killed the day before.
Yes, I was quite surprised as well. You should have seen how surprised I was! You're a great detective. At least pretend you weren't surprised. To be honest, I was pretty surprised myself, but it's because of this autopsy report, right? Yeah. For some reason, there's no estimated time of death on this report. Is there a reason, or was it omitted on purpose?
If it was on purpose, then I can't help remembering last time. The case a few days ago with Dr. Sith.
In any case, the day before what we thought was the murder, Detective Gregson infiltrated the Red-Headed League. Maybe something happened during that. Come to think of it, you got taken in by their scam too, didn't you, Holmes-san? No! Don't be ridiculous! There's no way I could have fallen for that. I just got a little excited over the prospect of £4 a week. I don't think the precise way in which you were disgraced changes much.
Those two criminals were arrested yesterday, weren't they? In Holmes-sama's room on Baker Street.
They sure were. The great Inspector Lestrade herself arrested them. All thanks to a good citizen reporting them.
By which you mean me. So our next witnesses will be those two, huh? Anyway, it's a little strange, isn't it? The day before this incident, the Red-Headed League hadn't even committed their fraud yet. So what was Detective Gregson doing investigating them? Who knows? Well, the possibility that springs to mind was that he was also enticed by the promise of £4 a week.
Don't bring him down to your level.
In any case, Lord Van Zieks was investigating Detective Gregson, who was investigating them.
The Grim Reaper, the Red-Headed League, Gregson-sama, Lord Van Zieks,
and Asogi Kazuma. It's almost as if he predicted all of this.
Good point.
What exactly was he anticipating? Well, I should think you'll be finding out soon enough. Here, look at the clock. It's almost time for the trial to reconvene, see? Yeah, you're right. Asogi was determined to be the prosecutor in this top-secret trial. And he was determined for me to be the one behind a defense bench. What is it that he's trying to show me? I have a feeling that this trial isn't going to go as smoothly as I hope. Anyway, let's get going, shall we, Susato-san?
Right.
Same day, 1 o'clock p.m., the Old Bailey Supreme Court.
I now declare this trial in session in the name of Her Majesty the Queen. We shall now reconvene the fair trial of defendant Baroque Van Zieks. Now then, Prosecutor Asogi.
Your Honor.
Have you successfully prepared the previous requested witnesses?
The two who planned and executed the massive fraud scheme known as the Red-Headed League were escorted here from the detention center a moment ago.
Very well. In that case, show those men to the stand.
Oh boy, the fun dynamic duel.
These two are currently under arrest on suspicion of fraud. Never mind your occupations for now. Just state your names.
Je m'appelle Maurice de Coupable. I am a descendant of the powerful aristocrat family, the Coupable, from Nice, France.
My turn. I'm Marco DuKlutz. And I'm the third son of the DuKlutz family, the lamb barons from Napoli, Italy.
they really give him a jump animation? Oh my god, they didn't make this even more obvious of what they're trying to spoof here. Also, like, something that was pointed out when I originally streamed this, one of my viewers is, they're using, if you notice that they're both tall and short, and we also had someone who was also tall and short in Case 5 in the first game, if you remember the Templar brothers. I think they are using the same models for them, for just with different animations.
The two of them claim to have met at a boarding school for the offspring of European aristocrats.
Those who graduate from the famous Temsik boarding school are the cream of the crop, and bear the weight of Europe's future on their shoulders. However, living the life guaranteed to you by your status as an aristocrat's child is meaningless. Therefore, I decided I wanted to try taking on the world with a method of my own devising. That's the only thing I have on my mind.
And the method you chose was fraud, of all things?
Yes, well...
How about it? Scared yet? We've got frightful ideals, and yet we use surprisingly petty means of achieving them. The perfect paradox is what makes this little pair of fools so charming. Isn't that right, bro?
Now listen here, DuKlutz. There are two things I need you to hear right now.
Oh? What are they? You got a funny story for me, bro?
First of all, kindly stop calling me bro. Secondly, I'm not sure about you, but I'm not trying to be a fool here.
Look, there it is. The treasure handed down through generations of my bro's family, the furrowed brow. Looking deep as usual. My bro here is a pretty deep guy, you know. Both his words and the furrow in his brow.
Oh my god.
You two gave yourselves the name the Red-Headed League and committed major fraud. That's what the court was told. Is that correct?
Oui, indeed. Exactement.
So, what exactly was your plan?
Very well, I shall tell you.
Ah, bro, let me explain this. As you can see, our hair is crazy red, right? And we were bullied for it pretty badly back in school. My bro here was always sitting by himself behind this school, his lips trembling like mad. Damn you all! Someday I'll show the world what we redheads are really capable of. My bro here would clench his hands into fists and sob.
That's enough, DuKlutz. I shall explain it myself.
Oh my god.
The first phase in the plan was the newspaper ad. We placed our ad in every paper in London about a week ago.
Yeah, we saw your ad too. It's this one, right? Invitation to the Red-Headed League.
Yes, the very one. I am honored that you read it.
The only qualification for being accepted to the League is that you have blazing red hair. If one were to take the League's interview and were able to be made a member, that person would have been entitled to remuneration of £4 a week. That's what the ad said.
And on the day of the interview, they went around to each redhead and collected an interview fee of 5 shillings apiece.
We were going to use that money to go to France. It was a beautiful plan, incroyable.
How utterly pointless. It's difficult to imagine that anyone could be taken in by such a clearly suspicious ad.
A Apparently the park, which was the location for the interview, was swarming with redheads.
In any case, their interviews were held the day before our incident. They claim to have interviewed every person who came to the park.
I assure you, I saw more redheads that day than most people do in their whole lives.
Thanks to that, just looking at my bro's hair here makes me feel nauseous.
Never mind that. May I ask why we've been summoned here today?
Huh?
I was told the Red-Headed League's trial was to be held tomorrow.
These men were not provided with any details on the case on trial today. The only thing they were shown was this photo.
Understood. In that case, the court would like you to testify about what you know regarding the man in this photo.
I'm not particularly eager to aid in this nation's justice system, so...
I mean, this is true. I mean, what's in it for them? They're already condemned criminals at this point, so, like, why should they help us? So this testimony is probably going to be a doozy. The man in the photo.
That day, there were about 1,000 redheads packed into this park at Lime Street.
But I don't remember seeing the man in that photo. What about you, bro?
He appears to be quite dead, but I can assure you that he didn't make an appearance.
In other words, we have no connection to this victim.
Well, if it weren't for your bungling, we would have never been caught in the first place.
So the man in this photo didn't come. You're certain about that?
Yes, there's no mistake. We didn't interview him.
I didn't see anyone like that too, I can assure you of that too.
However, the two of you were arrested for fraud, which means that your entire testimony just now could have been a lie.
If you say stuff like that, we'll just refuse to tell you anything.
He's sulking.
This is confidential material from the yard. And it looks like Detective Gregson's notebook definitely had his plans for the day before the incident recorded on it. It said, Undercover Investigation, Lime Street, Red-Headed League.
Oh, here's a thought. Maybe there just happened to be a note at a similar event on Lime Street that day.
That's incredibly unlikely.
God damn these two. There doesn't seem to be any question that Detective Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League. That means it's possible that something happened during his investigation.
Now then, defense, your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. I have about 7 minutes left of this video, so let's see what we can get done. And I'll try not to stop in a weird spot, if anything, so this might go over a little bit. Okay, let's go. 1,000 people. That's quite a turnout.
The sight of every redhead in London all in one place was really something to behold.
Yeah, it must have been thanks to my bro's natural magnetism. That many people never would have shown up otherwise. Pretty brilliant, eh? I really admire him. If I could be reborn as someone else, I'd choose to be you.
It was clearly the £4 a week that they were after.
But does that mean you interviewed all 1,000 of them?
Mais bien sûr. Our goal was to take 5 shillings from each one of them, after all.
We asked their name, had them write down their address, and took their 5 shillings. and told them. We'll let you know the results by post at a later date. I guess we spent about 2 minutes per person. The two of us got started first thing in the morning and didn't finish until the middle of the night.
So you've made 5,000 shillings in a day? That's a pretty impressive scheme.
However, I'm surprised you were able to gather 1,000 people, only targeting foolish redheads.
And one of those 1,000 was Holmes-san with his hair dyed bright red. But you interviewed 1,000 redheads, right?
That's right. My eyes were burning something awful by the end.
It'd be one thing if you just couldn't remember him, but how are you so certain? How do you know this man never showed up?
If you're talking about a single person, red hair might be a distinguishing feature, but when you get 1,000 redheads together, it's just an eyesore. Maybe I'd be able to remember him if you gave us more specific information, though.
Haven't I already told you, DuKlutz? I stated clearly that man never made an appearance. For starters, he may be wearing a red wig, but his moustache is his natural color. That would leave such an impression that I'd be sure to remember him if I'd ever seen him.
Apparently Asogi never showed them anything but this photo, but maybe I could give them just one bit of information about the victim. The victim's name, the victim's occupation, the victim's fish and chips. What? Okay. The victim's occupation! You're right, maybe his hair alone wouldn't have left much impression on you, but what if I told you he were a detective wearing a red wig?
So, the man in that photo is a detective?
That's right.
Apparently he felt that something was off about this newspaper ad, and performed an undercover investigation.
My deepest apologies, but that does not change my answer.
Hello? Hold on. Sorry. May I have a moment, DuKlutz-san? Sorry.
Huh? Oh, yeah. I'm always ready.
You look like you were deep in thought just now. Did something come to you?
Well, you just said he was the detective, right?
Yes, what?
DuKlutz, let's shut your gob right now, shall we?
Huh? What for, bro? I mean... Remember? There was that one person that day who said he was the detective.
Huh? What?
Order! 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 Witness! What was the meaning of what you just said?
Just what I said. There was a guy that day who said it.
There was no such person.
Huh?
Huh? What are you talking about, bro? Did you forget?
I haven't forgotten anything. There was no such person.
No. The only thing I'm better at than you is remembering things. I said, remember? Even I can get things done when it really matters.
But you're worse than me in every other area, so perhaps you should do as I say and shut up.
Oh snap! Double slam!
Zut. It seems that I was too late.
It certainly does.
It's true, there was one man who introduced himself as a detective. However, he was not the man shown in that photo.
How can you be so sure?
Well, for starters, the face of the man we saw was nothing like this one.
Well, I got to agree with you there. The bloke we saw was younger. And he was clean-shaven, with sad eyes and a slender jaw.
He doesn't sound like our victim at all, does he?
When he spoke to us, I calmly replied, "If you're really a detective, then prove it."
You should have seen bro's face at the time. He looked ready to kill someone.
That man seemed unwilling to back down either. "I've got an ID right here," he said.
An ID? You mean a detective's ID?
That's very strange.
Why is that?
There's no way an undercover detective would have shown his ID.
That's true. To do so would be to blow his cover.
In other words, that ID was fake.
That's my bro for you. I guess what they say, but it takes a faker to know a faker is true.
So then, what did the supposed detective do?
He kept pushing his claim that he was a detective and that we were under investigation and making trouble, see? So we took his fake ID and tossed him out.
Take a good look, everyone. This is the ID he showed us.
You stole that from the fake detective, huh?
Well, we were frustrated, right? He got me all scared. It looked a little suspect, so I confiscated it.
Indeed, it doesn't appear that that man was a detective after all. For the sake of caution, however, the court will take the ID that man presented.
Boo, I like this thing.
The detective's ID, an ID that DuKlutz and DuKlutz confiscated from a man who claimed to be a detective.
Now then, witnesses, continue your testimony.
Wondering if I want to continue or just leave it here. Yeah, I think we'll stop here. So we're gonna have a look at this ID the next time we start this again, so. Yeah, probably for the best. We'll just hold it off for now. So, I will see you guys in the next video again. Next week. Oh my god, I'm so fumbling here. In the next video, I'll see you guys then. Holy crap.